Question number 8, Darroch Ball.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Justice, does she stand by all her statements?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
Yes, in the context that they were given.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Darroch Ball.
How does the government measure the, quote, youth crime rate, end quote, as described in her statement that the youth crime rate has dropped by 38%?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
Well, Mr Speaker, that member has asked me a very similar question in a written question, and we've gone back to him with the evidence that supports the measures underlying the BPS target, but we stand by our statement that youth crime rate has dropped 38% since 2011 and more than 60% since 2007-2008.
Point of order, sir.
Point of order, Darroch Ball.
I asked how the government measured it, not what the rates were.
I listened to the question and I listened to the answer. On this occasion, I'm going to invite the member to re-ask the question.
Thank you, sir. How does the government measure the, quote, youth crime rate, end quote, as described in her statement that the youth crime rate has dropped by 38%?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
Mr Speaker, the government has a number of measures of youth offending, from police statistic to youth court appearances to youth reoffending rates. There are a number of measures we use that inform the youth crime information.
Supplementary question, Darroch Ball.
Is the Minister aware that the national government measures youth crime not by the number of youth offences or arrests, but instead by, quote, the number of first appearances in a court, end quote?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
Well, as I said, Mr Speaker, we use a number of measures, and the number of appearances in the youth court is one of those measures.
Point of order, sir.
Point of order, Darroch Ball.
I seek leave to table a document which states that youth crime is only measured
Order. I just
by
need
the number of first appearances.
Source of the document.
Well, it's the Minister's own website.
If the member wants to continue to play with the House like that, he's likely not to get any more supplementary. Supplementary question, Darroch Ball.
Is the Minister satisfied that currently youth are committing multiple crimes and being dealt with outside of court on multiple occasions before their first court appearances is ever recorded as part of this government's youth crime rate?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
Mr Speaker, the practice of using alternative actions to simply taking every young person, putting them in court and convicting them has been the process in New Zealand for many years. It is a process that is heralded around the world, and it is part of the reason we have been successful in reducing not only the youth crime rate, but the crime rate of young people as they graduate into the adult system. So yes, I'm very well aware that not every commission of offence ends up charged in the youth court, and that has been the practice for many years.
Supplementary question, Darroch Ball.
How can the Minister be satisfied that the youth crime rate is accurately measured when 75% of youth who actually commit a crime do not even appear in court and are therefore not included in her crime rate at all?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
Well, Mr Speaker, that is exactly the point. We want young people to be dealt with in the way that is most likely to ensure they don't reoffend. And actually, everything tells us that the system is far more effective at reducing future offending, far more effective at stopping them graduating to become long-term criminals, and far more effective at keeping New Zealanders safe.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Darroch Ball.
How can this government consider extending the youth justice system to include 17-year-olds when the Minister knows that 50% of youth who are dealt with by an alternative action reoffend within 12 months, more than half of the current adult prison population have been convicted in a youth court, and 80% of all youth convicted in youth court reoffend within 2 years, demonstrably showing the youth justice system is failing?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
Well, Mr Speaker, I simply don't accept that. The evidence is quite clear that the youth justice system is far more effective at reducing reoffending. We're not saying that every young person who appears in the youth justice system won't reoffend. We are saying that it is a very effective way. In terms of extending it, those decisions haven't been made.
Order. Order. There's little point, Mr Ball, in continuing to ask supplementary questions and then to continue to interject right through them. Question